Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Hopefully everybody is doing amazing on this Saturday afternoon. I am heading home. I had a pretty decent day today. Can't really complain. I got through it. And now just going home to my family. My peaceful home. But I've been in my thoughts lately. There's so much going on through my head as I'm prepping for Ramadan as well. I do want to talk about something that many people tend to do, and I am guilty as well, because I used to be in that boat every so often. We tend to judge people even when we don't want to judge somebody, just because of what we heard, or just because of things we see them doing, and we tend to look at people a certain way. And in all honesty, you should never judge anybody. People, we have all gone through our trials and tribulations. We have all gone through our tests. Some still continue to go through it. Many of us deal with it differently. Of course we will. We are all different. How we deal with certain situations is how we were brought up, or what we were around, the friends we kept around. This is what's going to dictate how we deal with certain situations that we go through. And it's unfortunate that, back to what I was saying, as far as we tend to judge people. We could look at somebody that's under the influence, whether it be narcotics or whether it be alcohol, and we'll judge them like, oh, you drinking too much, or you doing too much drugs, or always like, and we may have good intentions by saying these things to them, but at the end of the day, we don't know what people have been through. And it's so sad that we are quick to judge somebody instead of trying to open up and trying to understand, like, what caused that trauma, what caused you to start drinking or doing drugs so heavily. And in the midst of that, it becomes an addiction. And once it becomes an addiction, it is hard to kick off or to stop. So instead of judging others, let's be more understanding. Not understanding that they're drinking and they're harming themselves. No. Understanding the fact that they went through certain situations that they didn't know how to deal with it. And they thought that just by numbing their pain for the meantime, because that's exactly what it is, numbing the pain for the meantime, not wanting to remember certain things, led them to be either an alcoholic or a drug addict. It's sad. It is sad. Most of the times, our immediate family and friends are at fault. And not to blame everything on people. Because remember, a child is never born with wanting to drink or do drugs. These are things that are taught. Growing up, I saw this so much and I was so against it. But who am I to say things? Or who was I, right? Now, I open up because I have a right to speak up. Growing up, I would see families throwing parties for their child. 1-year-old party. And there's alcohol involved. There's parents drinking. When the party should be focused on the 1-year-old child. Why is there even liquor in a party? In a 1-year-old party? And many may disagree. But all this adds up to a child thinking that it's normal. They start seeing this in every birthday party they have. There's always alcohol involved. All the grown-ups are having a good time because everybody's just drinking. And no, we're misguiding our own kids, and we don't realize it because we are so stuck with what we have been programmed, with how we were taught. We have to start breaking all this negative stuff that we do for the sake of our own kids, for the sake of us. So many times, yes, we are at fault. And then we don't tend to see it. When our kids start misbehaving or doing things, they learned it from us. We weren't good examples to begin with. And I know the truth hurts. But somebody's got to talk about it. Somebody's got to say it. You know? I know once you get at a certain age, you know, as an adult, we all make our own choices, and you know, we do what we think is best for us, or some of us are still caught up. We're in denial with what we're doing. We think it's still fun, or, you know, still following the same traditions that got us nowhere. Got to start making a change. I hear it all the time. This world's getting this world is it. But what are we doing? What are we doing to make a change? Are you adding to the craziness? Or are you just sitting back not doing anything, just watching? Or are you actually trying to make a change? Because it's up to us. It's up to us to try to change things around for the next generation and teach the next generation better. Be there for them. We didn't have our parents the way we wanted to have them around. Why? Because once you come to the U.S., you have to work like a slave. You got to bust your behind to make ends meet, which requires either both parents or one parent, depending on your circumstances. If you have both parents, good for you. It's a blessing. If you have one parent, it's gonna be tougher. But you come over here to follow this American dream, yet we get caught up working. Not even spending time with our kids. By the time we get home, we're so tired and frustrated with everything we went through at work and just getting home. And by the time we get home, it's just like giving our kids an attitude. Our kids don't deserve that. Again, we are at fault as adults. Parents have to start making a change. Have to start setting an example. It's not about telling your kids, don't do this. You have to tell them the reason why not to do it. You have to not do it yourself either. Because telling them not to do it, yet you're doing it, you're confusing the child. Remember, the first person a child looks up to is the parents. So what we do as parents is what the kids are going to learn, and they're going to follow, whether we like it or not. As much as we tell them, do not do this, they will follow. So this is why I always stress the fact that leading by example is crucial. So next time you want to judge somebody, or you want to talk about somebody, belittle somebody, and say, oh, this person is an alcoholic, oh, this person is such a drug addict, whatever you want to say. You don't know what that person's been through. You don't know what that person had to deal with. And not saying that I'm making an excuse for anybody, because there is pretty much no excuse. If anybody is hard on anybody, trust me, I am extremely hard on myself. I've always been like that. something I had to learn how to do because I didn't have anybody around that I looked up to. I didn't look up to anybody. If anyone, everybody that was around me, it was just like, I don't want to do that. I don't want to do that. Like, I knew what was right from wrong. And many of us know what's right from wrong, but yet we get caught up. So once we're an adult, it's us. We have to blame ourselves for what we have done to ourselves. We have to snap out of any trauma or any depression we're in. Being in a depressed state of mind is going to destroy you slowly. So you have to get yourself together. Find yourself. Find the reason why you do what you do. What caused you to head to that direction? Pull away from people who are not adding any value to your life. Those friends who say they're friends, yet they're giving you narcotics or alcohol, those are not friends. Because we should understand by now that that is not good for you. Anything that is harming your body is not good for you. So you have to eliminate these friends or even family members. And I want to stress the fact that you have to find God. God is the only one that will give you strength when you feel defeated. When you live in for God, you have a whole different purpose of why you're living. When you're living for God, you're doing things to please God, not to please people. When you're living for God, it's a whole different world you end up seeing. And I am so grateful that I was able to find God. Because He has kept me grounded. He has kept me focused with the things that I have to do. He has kept me in such a peaceful mood. Behind having faith. So guys, don't give up on yourselves. Encourage each other to do good. Don't judge others by the things that they, what they're going through, what they're doing. Again, we all go through our situations. We all deal with it differently. And it's just about trying to encourage somebody to do something positive with themselves, something good. To try to encourage somebody to be a better person, not to harm themselves. So, I'll leave you with that. I love you all for the sake of Allah. Just 5 more days until Ramadan. Inshallah, we get to experience another year. I am so looking forward to it and mentally preparing myself. And peace and blessings to you all. May you all stay safe. Adios.